Welcome again. So today I'm going to show you how to work on an Excel sheet, and like we have already talked about, Excel is basically an office suite package that allows us to do a lot of mathematics on data. We're able to perform a lot of calculations on various types of data, and I think that allows us to make work easier in terms of decision making and so on and so forth. You'll have to forgive the background noise. I'm in a room where machines are really working, so kindly bear with the background noise and simply focus on what we are working on. So with me here I have sample data. As you can see, we are talking about student performance. This is similar to what you have already entered in class activity. So I have around 10 students and several columns involving their subject scores. That's math, English, Swahili, science, and social studies. And then we have some fields that we are going to calculate. We have a total. We are going to get the total mark. We are also going to get the average. We are going to get the grade, and we are going to rank these 10 students. Today we are not going to deal with percentage, so I'll just remove it. We're going to deal with these 4. So first, let us begin with total. And like we have already said, total basically means that you need to get the sum of all the subjects done. In this case, we are talking about 5 subjects. So total means that we need to get a total of a sum of maths, English, Swahili, science, and social studies. So how do you go about it? Step 1, you need to click the cell where you want that answer to reflect. So we want our answer here, and we are going to calculate from Musyoka Peter. We want our answer here. So you click on the cell that you want the answer to be. Then you go to the menu ribbon and look for auto sum. Remember, we are under formulas, so you look for auto sum. Click this arrow. When you click this arrow, we are looking for sum because we need to get the total. So click on sum. When you click on sum, Excel automatically selects the cells that are the cells that apply for that formula. For example, those cells that involve numbers, the Excel sheet will automatically select for you. But in our case here, as you can see, it has already selected up to the admission number, and we don't need to include that in our calculation, which means that if we want to remove this cell of admission number here, we'll simply bring your mouse pointer until it reaches this point here, or at the top left corner here. Any of these two can work. So bring your mouse here until the shape changes to double-sided arrow. Click, then drag to the right. You'll have excluded admission number from being included in the calculations for total. Once you have done that, simply click enter on the keyboard. And when you click enter, Excel automatically calculates for you the total and gives you the answer as 286. So Musyoka Peter scored a total of 286 marks in the 5 subjects. Now, once we have calculated for one student, we don't need to do the same for all the other students. Imagine if you have 1,000 students. That could take you days. So because Excel allows us to do things in a more smarter way, once you have calculated one field, bring your mouse pointer to the bottom right until the shape changes to a plus sign. As you can see here, until the shape changes to a plus sign, then click on your mouse and drag. Don't lift your finger. Click and drag until you reach where you want your calculations to be. So until my student number 10, I release my mouse. Then once you do that, it fills for you the remaining values. So it automatically calculates for you the other students using the same formula that you used in the previous or in the initial calculation. So you can confirm with the calculator and you realize this is correct. When you add 64 plus 67 plus 91 plus 45 plus 88, you realize that you'll get 355. So up to there we have already done, we are done with total. we already have our values. Let us now move to the next one, average. Can we get the average? Once you know what you want to do, you simply click on that cell where you want that value to be recorded. So for example, in this case, you click on cell J3, sorry. We click on cell J3. Remember how we said how to get the address of the cell. You reference the column, letter, and the row number. So this is cell J3, as you can see here, cell address J3. So click on cell J3, in my case that is J3. Then you go back to formulas, then under AutoSum, click the arrow and click on average. What do you notice? When you click on average, Excel automatically selects all the cells. So again, we are not interested in all the cells. In this case, we are only interested with the total. We want to get the total, so you click there, take your mouse there, and drag it until you are on total only. We're only interested in the total, because average is given by the total divided by the number of subjects done. In this case, total divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you say average, it will simply take that total, the cell involving total only. So you need to do something else. You can go here at the top at the formula bar. Go to the formula bar and add something. So we are going to add the division sign. That is the sign for division. And then we are going to divide by 5 subjects. So whichever cell you are using, yours could be L, yours could be J, K, whichever cell you are using. In my case, I3, cell I3, which represents this value here. Then divide by what? 5. Once you have written that, simply click enter. When you click enter, we are told that the average for Monsieur Capita is 57.2, which is true, I think. 57.2. You can confirm that on your calculator. Take 286 and divide that by 5. You'll get 57.2. So again, to fill out the answers or the values for the other students, you simply come at the bottom right corner, ensure your mouse pointer is now a plus, click, then drag downwards until you reach the end of that list. You realize that the students are now filled. The average mark for each student is now filled up. We are done with the average. Then to calculate the grade, go there. Now with the grade, we are going to simply write the formula manually. We are going to write the formula. So as you can see, we are not having grade here, but later on we shall look at how to manipulate one of the formulas to give us grade, because as you can see, we are going to see that it involves the use of if. So when you are here, you click on this cell here, then go to the formula bar and write the formula. We start with the equal sign, so write equals, then if. So we are going to use the if formula, then logical tests. What are we going to say? We want if the student has an average score of maybe, for example, 90 plus, then that is an A. So if, then we choose this cell here, average. If J3 is greater than or equal to 80, let's say 80, comma, this student will be awarded an A. And look at how we are enclosing that A in quotation marks. You have to enclose it in a quotation marks. Then if J3 again is greater or equal to 70, then that student should be awarded what? A B plane. We want that student to be awarded a B plane. Now before we continue, we have to put a few corrections here. For example, here, if, remember I said if J3, so again here you have to include the if statement. So you have to include the if statement here. Every time you want to put another logical test, you have to include an if statement. So for example, here again we are going to include an if statement and say if J3, we are still looking at the J3, if J3 is greater or equal to 60, then this student will be awarded a C plane. That will be a C plane, comma, if, another if J3 again, if J3 is greater or equal to 50, then this student will be awarded what? A D. This student will be awarded a D, comma, if J3 is greater or equal to 40, then this student will be awarded an E. Be awarded an E, comma, if what? If J3 again is greater or is less than, if J3 is less than 40, then that student will be awarded what? An F. That student will be awarded an F. But there is a catch here. If anything less than is an F, then we don't necessarily have to use if. We can just avoid using this if here, so that we say anything that is above or equal to 40 is an E. Anything else should be awarded what? An F. Once you are finished with this, you count how many opening brackets. How many times did you open the bracket? You see, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and this is 5. So you come at the end here and you close 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are done. Then once you are done with that, you simply click enter. When you click enter, we are told that this student has scored what? This student has scored a D. Is it a D? Anything above 50, is it a D? Anything above 50 is a D. That is true. That is the condition. So again, to fill that, simply come here, change it to a plus sign, and drag it and drop it to the end of your list. As you can see, this is Jairus Odawa has an E, that is 40 something. Similar to Esnas Muthoni also has an E, whereas Andrew Githiora has a B plane. Andrew has a B plane. So that is how we can put grades on our scores. And then can we go to rank? Can we now rank these students from the first student to the last student? Click on that cell there, that is L3. This is L3. Then on cell L3, I want us to also write a formula here. So we shall go here and say equal sign. Then after the equal sign, what do? You write rank. We are going to rank students. So you type here rank, then open the brackets and close the brackets, and then put your cursor inside so that you can type something here. Now for ranking, you need to select your original or rather your score that you are going to compare with the other scores. So we need to compare a value with the other values so that we can see if this value is smaller than the others, we give it a certain position in our list. If this value is larger than the other numbers, we give it a certain position in our list. So in our case here, we are going to consider the average. That is the score that we are going to consider, average. So that is cell J3. So here you type J3, that is our reference cell, then comma. Then we are going to now write the list. We are going to write rather not the list but the range, that is in our list from where to where do we want to compare these scores. And we are going to start from J3 itself, which means you write J3 again. But there is a little difference here. We are going to use what we call absolute referencing. Absolute referencing. What is absolute referencing? Here we are meaning that this range, we are going to lock this range so that it is not going to change when that formula is copied from one cell to another. So we are going to use the symbol of dollar, the dollar symbol. So you put before J the symbol for the dollar sign, then you put after J again. So we are referencing J, then we are referencing 3, then full colon, That full colon tells us that this is a range that is from J3 here to J10, from J3 to J10. Again, behind J, put the $sign. Then after J, again, we put the $sign after J. Then after this, we write comma. Then we write, we want now the arrangement. The highest score, what do we want it to? What rank do we want it to have? Do we want it to have the lowest rank or the highest rank? As you can see here, we already having a suggestion that write 0 so that you can rank the numbers in descending order. In descending order. Or you write 1 so that you can number your positions in ascending order from the lowest to the highest. So in our case, we want it to have descending order, so that the number with the highest marks, we want it to have the lowest rank. For example, 100% should have position number 1, whereas 20% should have position number 10. That is what it means. When we are done here, you simply press enter. Now we have a little bit of a problem. There. As you can see, we are told that there are one or more circular references. To our formula, which refers to its own cell. Okay? These are the circular references we are told here. Okay, I see. We have a problem here. We wrote our formula in a different cell. Yeah, it should be there. So this formula needs to be here. Just copy it here. Formula needs to be here. Then we press what? Enter. Press enter. So we are told that Musyoka Peter is number 7. Yeah. Then let's drag this. Select here and drag it to the last cell. Now this one is telling us NA because we don't have any values here for referencing. So we are told that someone is at number 1. This is Oscar Wanyama. Oscar Wanyama is at number 1 with 74%. And then we have at number 2 is Elizabeth Muiru with 73%. Number 3 is Esther Kiligo with 72. Number 4 is Andrew Githiora with 71, like that. So we have ranked the students from number 1 to number 10, but as you can see, the numbers are not arranged. Yes, of course, the highest mark has the lowest rank, like we said earlier, but we want the first person to be at the top of the list. So for the first person to appear at the top of the list, we do what we call sorting. We sort this list so that the person who is at number 1 to be at the top, the person who is at number 10 here to be at the bottom of this list. So you simply come here, you can highlight these cells. Then once you have highlighted these cells, you can go to home, go to the home tab, menu ribbon, go to the right side and look for sort and filter, and then we want to sort it from the smallest to the largest. We want to sort it from the smallest to the largest. And then what do you want to do? Do you want to expand the selection, or you want to continue with the current selection? You want to continue with the current selection. As you can see, if we continue with the current selection, it only attempts to sort these lists, this column here only, which means we need to do what? We need to expand the selection to the rest. So that what happens now is that the first person, who is Oscar Wanyama with 74.6% with a B plane, is now at number 1. And then Jairus Odawa, who has an E, that is 41, he now goes number 10. Now this person here is missing a mark, which is okay. Some people miss marks, so this should be a 0 actually. We should put it at a 0 so that the mathematics does not corrupt. So guys, as you can see, this is simply a little bit of data manipulation using Excel. Simply gotten totals, average, grades, rank, and we can do many more. We can do much more. We are going to look at how to draw graphs. We are going to look at how to draw pie charts. We are going to look at all those things so that we know how to convert this into some graphical data that we can then use to make decisions here and there. So that is all that I wanted to show you about this formula, so that when you now get access to a computer, you can do more practice and get a feel of how to manipulate data using Excel worksheets. That is all for today.